Hi guys, it's Milla and welcome back to my channel. I thought that I would do a video basically just so you know, recording yourself with no one around is literally sometimes the most difficult thing to do. Hi guys, it's Milla and welcome back to my channel. So if you've been following me for a while on social media, or if you've seen some of my previous videos, I am a food blogger. I am based in Atlanta, and I get questions all the time about how do I be a food blogger? How do I get into blogging? Do you eat for free all the time? I thought I would do this video giving you guys tips on how to be a food blogger or a blogger, and also answering some of those frequently asked questions. This is what you want to see. Grab a cup of coffee and stay tuned. Alright, so I have all of my questions right here on my laptop in front of me, so I'm just going to go through one by one and start answering. How did you start? What made you want to get into that? So this is a question that I probably get more often than not. I actually started food blogging. I started a blog called My Life, My Food. It sounds kind of corny now, but I started that in 2009 while I was in culinary school. I went to Le Cordon Bleu. It's located in Tucker. And yeah, I kind of got sidetracked. I mean, I did not finish culinary school. It was hella expensive. And at the time, I wasn't making much money, so I was paying out of pocket. I had a student loan already. I really didn't want to get more student loans. So I ended up leaving school, and a number of things kind of happened, and I ended up just kind of putting the blog by the wayside and not, following through with it. So I want to say several years later, back in 2013, I had gotten laid off. Another job. This was the second job that I had gotten laid off at in 2 years. 2013, looking for a job. I could not, it was so hard to find a job, and I needed an outlet. I was frustrated. It was like, why is this happening to me? So, being home all day, I was cooking a lot. I couldn't afford to eat out, and I would post pictures of what I was cooking. I was posting pictures of what I was cooking, and people would ask me, like, how do you make that? How did you do that? What did you use for this? And what did you use for that? And, I was like, maybe I should pick the blog back up again. Maybe I should, create a website and share my recipes with people. And yeah, that's what I did. Happily Eating was born. And probably about 7 or 8 months later, I said, I really want to meet other food bloggers. I want to be able to go into restaurants and go to events and things like that. And I started Googling organizations in Atlanta, and I found the Atlanta Food Blogger Society, and I joined the group. I ended up meeting some amazing bloggers. You have seen them in my past videos. Erica from Eating with Erica, Jeanne from Jeanne Can Cook. There's Erica from A Taste of Our City. I literally met so many amazing bloggers. So yeah, that's basically how I got started. Here I am 3 years later with opportunities that I never thought I would have gotten. So that's how I started, from scratch, with nothing. And yeah, that's it. How do you stay so skinny? Now that question, it's funny, I am what you would call a smaller woman, but I will say, I do eat out quite a bit as far as going to events and restaurants. I would say I average, 2 restaurants a week. The key to maintaining weight, at least for me, and I can only speak for me, is that it's balance. I'll go to restaurants and maybe I won't order a meat dish. Maybe I'll get fish, or get some sort of a seafood. When I'm at home and I cook at home, I try to eat vegetables. I really don't eat a lot of meat at home. At least I try not to, just to kind of balance things out a little bit. We go to these events and there is so much food. If you guys have seen, Life of a Food Blogger, my series that I have here on my channel, you'll notice that there's most of the time a lot of food. There's a lot of alcohol. So, you have to balance that out in order to be able to maintain your weight. I don't work out, I have to be honest about that, and I probably should. That is something that I'd like to do. I just need to find a routine that, you know, is something that I enjoy doing, because I have to be honest, I do not enjoy just going to the gym. Like, it's boring to me. There's like no excitement. I don't eat fast food, so you're not going to see me eating McDonald's or Burger King. You know, I will say I love the occasional Popeyes, because who doesn't love Popeyes? Do you like every restaurant that you try? So to answer that question bluntly, no, I don't like every restaurant that I try. The thing about it is that on my website, I really only post restaurants that I like, restaurants that I enjoy. Now, there have been times that there are restaurants that I didn't enjoy everything that I had. There were, you know, one or two things that were a miss for me. But my goal is to be honest about what I did not like. And you know, you can say you don't like something without being rude, without being mean, without being disrespectful. And to me, that's the whole point with that. As a food blogger, you know, and someone that cooks, you know, we can be sensitive about our shit. I would say, you know, as a tip, if you're looking to be a food blogger, definitely be honest, but don't be rude, don't be disrespectful. There have been a handful of restaurants where I just didn't enjoy anything, and that could have included the service that I received, you know, from my server. My food, I just didn't enjoy it, and I would not put that restaurant on my website. I would either reach out to, you know, the PR company that invited me or the restaurant itself and say, hey, this is why I'm not going to feature your restaurant on my website, you know, and provide feedback and honest feedback. At the end of the day, if I really don't like something, it does not go on happilyeating.com. Do you pay when you visit restaurants? I do not pay, but I will say, another great tip for you wannabe food bloggers, please tip. It's just courteous. It's the right thing to do. If I am visiting a restaurant for a review, I always tip the server. I'd like to think that the restaurants take care of their servers, knowing that I'm coming in and my meal is going to be complimentary. But I tip on top of that, and I always tip based on what my bill would have been. So I definitely say major tip, please tip your servers. Food blogging is easy. I would love to do that. So that is more of a statement than a question. And I'm gonna address that statement just because, you know, food blogging, I don't deny that it looks glamorous. It looks like a lot of fun. It looks like there's zero work involved. Most of my friends can tell you, and anybody that blogs in general will tell you, that blogging, it's some glamorous, you know, it has some glamour to it. However, it is a lot of work. When I go into these restaurants, I have my Canon, you know, big camera with me. I'm taking 30,000 pictures, Snapchat it, take a picture for Instagram. You know, I need to edit the picture really quick before I could post it. Like, there's so many different things that you have to do, because, you know, restaurants aren't inviting me in just because they want me to come and eat for free. It's a give and a take, you know. They're expecting me to go back and write about my experience, write about what I had. I wouldn't say it's easy. It's work involved, but it's fun work if you really enjoy it. Do you get paid? Now, that is definitely one of the biggest questions that all bloggers get asked. Do you get paid to come into a restaurant? It depends. It really depends. The wonderful part about blogging is that there is no real standard that has been set. All of us do different things, and we do it in different ways, and blogging is so new that there is no what you can get paid for and what you can't get paid for. I would say, depending on what it is, what the project is, you could get paid, whether that's from doing social media posts or doing videos or writing blog posts. It honestly just depends. I can't say that it's a definite yes or a definite no. It really just depends on the situation. What equipment do you use? Now, starting out, all I had was my cell phone. I had nothing else. I had an old laptop that I bought, you know, 4 or 5 years prior to. It was a Dell. It was a $300 laptop that was really only good for surfing the internet. So when I started, I had no equipment, actually, zero. I eventually grew into this camera. My dad bought me this. This is a Canon PowerShot SX510HS. It is a click and shoot camera, but you can record in HD on here. It has the different settings. If you want to adjust aperture and adjust scene, you could go into manual mode. So it has a lot of features. This was cute. It didn't cost a lot of money. When I got it, it was $199, I think. Starting out, this is a decent camera to have. It helps you learn about the different settings that come on the DSLR cameras. Now I have a Canon EOS Rebel SLR1, and it's white, it's pretty, I love it so much. Close to 500 bucks. It definitely has stepped my picture game up 1,000. It's a great starter camera if you don't really know what you're doing. Like, you want to get away from the point and shoot cameras, you want to get into the DSLR cameras. I did purchase a MacBook Pro last year. I will say it's ideal. The MacBook comes with iMovie, so recording these videos and editing them, it just works perfectly with that. Yeah, that's the equipment that I have. My advice to you would definitely be not to go out immediately and purchase a $500 camera that you have no clue how to use. Start out slow and grow. What advice would you give to someone who wants to be a food blogger or blogging in general? First things first, figure out why you're doing it. I started out of personal passion. Food is what I love. So sharing what I love with other people, that's why I started. I didn't start for money. I had no idea at the time that I could even make money. So my other tip would definitely be to be consistent. You know, don't put all the time and effort into starting a website, you know, buying equipment, doing all of that, and then posting once a month. You know, be as original as you can. I hear it all the time. Food blogging is saturated, you know, fashion blogging is saturated, beauty blogging is saturated. Everything is saturated, people. There's room for everybody. Make friends. I would definitely say another thing is to make friends with bloggers that are in the niche that you're interested in being in. They can offer really great advice. It's great to be around like-minded people, people that are interested in the same things that you are. Only people that understand bloggers are bloggers, okay? If you guys have any more questions about food blogging or just blogging in general, I would definitely leave those questions below. I'm sure there are questions that I did not answer, so please leave those questions below. Don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, guys, happy eating.